What's going on, my friends? Dr. Matthew Loop here today, and I'm thrilled that you've decided to join me for this powerful training titled What Every Chiropractor Must Know About Ranking #1 on Google in 2015 going into 2016. You everywhere now, positioning your chiropractic practice as the go-to office and only logical choice on the world's largest search engine. This training today will add more prosperity and abundance to your life and to your practice. So please, please, please turn off all distractions around you, whether that's cell phones, lock yourself in a closet if you need to, get out of Facebook. It's probably one of the only times you'll hear me say that, but I want you to be very focused so you can absorb, take notes on this information and really apply it to see exponential results in your practice. It's going to allow you to reach and serve more patients, plus dramatically multiply your bottom line. And I'd like to start off this webinar first by a quote from Eric Hoffer, American philosopher. In times of change, the learners will inherit the earth while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. Today, we still have chiropractors that are doing things the old way, that haven't evolved their communication. So this webinar training is going to help you get into the new era, and it's going to make you more effective in your marketing and outreach. Times have changed, so as patients evolve, we as doctors need to evolve the same. Now, if we're not already connected, I'd like to invite you to connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. My handle is @MatthewLoop on all of these. Now, for my Facebook fan page, it's facebook.com/MatthewJLoop. Typically what I do is I'll post new trainings and updates that help you grow quickly in practice using social media and the internet. I distill a lot of stuff so you don't have to wade through all the nonsense. You get exactly the strategies that are going to produce tangible results in your practice. If you want to grow your practice using the internet, I suggest you stay connected with me so we can actually share and brainstorm together, and you can learn what's new and how to grow your practice fast. And if you haven't done so already, I'd like to invite you to download my free blogging success blueprint at dcincome.com/go/free gift. Make sure you write that down, because this blogging blueprint has been downloaded over 20,000 times by chiropractors. It's very, very effective. It's everything that I use to help rank my blog #1 on Google, but also to get it out to the masses. You see, it's one thing to have great content. It's a whole separate ballgame to get that content massive visibility. And that's where a lot of chiropractors fail. So this free blogging success blueprint will help you do that. Make sure you download that today. Today on this webinar, we're going to be covering 18 keywords that every chiropractor needs to rank for this year and next. We'll also talk about the top 7 SEO factors that determine whether your website will thrive or sink to the bottom of the search like an anchor. We'll talk about the biggest mistakes and traps to avoid when trying to rank your chiropractic website #1 on Google for any high traffic keyword, and much more. What the information today will do for you is show you the most popular and overlooked keywords in your local market that you should be ranking for. Also, it'll help you at minimum triple the amount of visibility you're currently getting to your website. This webinar is also going to demystify Google's ranking algorithm once and for all. It's not too complex if you do things in a certain way. This webinar will also help you attract substantially more new patients from Google, so it will make you more effective in your efforts. Why should you listen to me? Now, if you're new to my trainings, my content, my material, I'm an author, chiropractor, professional speaker, social media revenue strategist. I've trained 7,500 plus chiropractors since 2005. In fact, I own a company called DC Income, which to date is the largest social media training company for chiropractors. Now, I wasn't always successful by a long shot, and I really don't want to give the impression that I was, but it's kind of funny. Graduated from chiropractic school in 2004, had all this ambition, this desire, this enthusiasm to help serve more patients in the community. The only problem with that was we weren't taught how to market at Life University and Logan. I got caught up in the whole accreditation mishap at Life in 2001, so I had to transfer and finish out my chiropractic education at Logan. So I got a lot of great technique, chiropractic adjusting, got a lot of great diagnosis, all this great training, and all I wanted to do was help people. And of course, the patients started coming in, but I was very naive when it came to business. My credit cards were all maxed out. At one point, over $140,000 in student loan debt. In fact, I got so low one time that my ex-girlfriend's father had to cut me a check for over $2,000, and that was to help float me along for the following week. It was a very, very low point in my life that got me to take a step back and say, wait a minute, I need to figure out this marketing thing. I've got this great technique. Chiropractic is a wonderful thing, but I need to know how to get it to the masses. And, I did a lot of conventional media, radio, TV. It's very, very expensive, and if you don't have a large budget to play for, you can go broke very, very quickly if you don't do a lot of testing and you don't know how to turn a profit. So I learned from the School of Hard Knocks. Right along that time is when a social network called MySpace stepped in. So if you're on this webinar right now, in the chat box, if you remember MySpace, just type in, I remember MySpace, or if you're on MySpace, let me know. Go ahead and type that in right now. It's kind of funny because when I started there, I thought, hey, this is a pretty cool network to be able to connect with other friends, not just locally, but around the world. After I graduated from chiropractic school, all my friends were scattered about the United States. So I'm thinking, man, I'd love to connect with them. So that's initially why I got on MySpace. Then I figured out in short order that, oh my gosh, you could connect with targeted people that have similar interests, whether that's through health, nutrition, law of attraction, yada, 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 and you could do it within a certain mile radius of your office. And I'm thinking, wow, that seems very, very powerful. So what I did is I started to connect with all these individuals that were locally. I built up 5,000 people on my MySpace profile back in the day, and then I started distributing great information. Well, naturally, 1% to 2% of those would just see I was a chiropractor, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're a chiropractor. I have this going on. Can you help me? So I started getting walk-ins and people that saw me and making appointments from MySpace, basically. And it was kind of crazy because once that turned into 10, 15 extra new patients per month from, quote, Web 2.0 and social media, things really started to change. And this was back in 2005, leading into 2006, mind you. So I started to get calls from friends because, as we were at parties and hanging out, I would tell them what I was doing. And they're like, hey, dude, can you show us how to do this and attract patients from this kids network? And I started showing my friends how to do this. And eventually that spawned into showing their other friends who were chiropractic colleagues. And it kind of spawned, it just picked up really, really fast. And then they had friends that were in real estate, they were attorneys. I started showing all different types of professionals back then in 2006 how to grow their practices and businesses from social media. And I thought to myself, because this was all cutting into my practice time, I said, I love being in practice, I love helping patients, but if I could help thousands of chiropractors help millions upon millions of patients in their communities and in the world, I just thought that was so unbelievably cool. And I'm like, I really want to devote my time to this. So I began spending 8 to 10 hours a day on social media. First it was MySpace, then Facebook. Facebook opened up to the regular general population. I believe it was somewhere around 2006, 2007. Used to be a college network. So I've really just kept my finger on the pulse of social media since then, literally in its embryonic stage. I don't know any other professionals or consultants like that I've ever met, and the top ones even today, that have been on social media and really harnessing it for that long. So I was in the right place at the right time, and I know how to grow a practice and or business using this stuff. So I want you to pay very close attention today, because I know that this can help get you closer to where you want to be in practice in life and get your message to the masses much, much faster. The great thing is, I'll tell you, even my top clients are getting over 30 patients per month using social media. That's an idea of what you can strive for. Like, that's the potential. Some getting much, much more than that. I would say my average social media elite client is between 12 and 15 extra new patients per month with social media. That's on top of all other marketing that they're doing. So realize that this stuff can totally transform your life and really add a new dimension of promotion to your office. Now, let's really get into the presentation. Now, you've heard some information about me. I think that's relevant to help you understand why you need to listen to me and what I can bring to the table and how I can help you grow. 18 keywords every chiropractor must rank for in 2015. Let's get started. Chiropractor in your town. As an example, chiropractor San Diego. If you type in chiropractic San Diego, you would ideally want to rank somewhere on the first page for that keyword. That's a very, very common keyword that prospective patients search all the time. Chiropractors in your town. Chiropractors in Boston. Same thing. Very, very common keyword. Your town, chiropractor. This is just in the reverse order of before, but realize even though it's like the same words in a different order, it's a different keyword. Google, because of how competitive the markets are now, Google distinguishes that as a separate keyword. So you want to have content and or your website ranking for this keyword. Your town, state abbreviation, chiropractor. Atlanta, GA, chiropractor. Or let's say Lawrenceville, GA, chiropractor, right? Or Boston, MA, chiropractor. Or, smaller towns, that's going to be more effective, obviously, because if you're in a bigger city, there's only one Atlanta, from my knowledge. If you're in a town like, let's say, Freehold, New Jersey, Freehold, NJ Chiropractor, I think you get the idea. Your town, chiropractic. Your zip code, chiropractor. 48161 chiropractor. We'd want to have our content and or our website ranking for that, because patients will search your zip code. Chiropractor, your zip code. Chiropractic, your zip code. Your zip code, chiropractic. I think you're getting an idea of where this is heading. Chiropractic offices, your zip code. Chiropractic offices is another keyword. Chiropractic offices, your town. Chiropractic offices, San Diego. Your town, chiropractor reviews. This is an overlooked keyword that can dramatically increase the amount of patients you're getting every single month from Google. So let's go Boston chiropractor reviews. People are looking for chiropractors in Boston or in your town, and they are looking for reviews because they will want to see who has the most and best reviews, because that's who the overwhelming majority of patients are going to go see. Now, obviously, we could create some type of content for this keyword, whether it's an article, press release, video, blog post, or we could rank our website for this keyword. Very, very powerful. Specialty chiropractor, your town. Pediatric chiropractor, Phoenix. Phoenix pediatric chiropractor. So a lot of people are searching for chiropractors, but also some people are searching for sports chiropractors or pediatric chiropractors. So make sure you think out of the box and isolate these terms based on your practice and what you see every day in the office. Best chiropractor, your town. Best chiropractor, Seattle. Now, this is something you'll have to check with your state board with. I know certain states don't allow you to say best, so make sure you check and verify with them. But nonetheless, this is a powerful search term. Your name, reviews. This is a biggie. Absolutely make sure you have this one. People are searching for your name. Dr. John Smith reviews. It's obvious. I don't care if they find you on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, find you at a screening. You can be rest assured they're going to search either your name or your practice name, reviews. So you need to have great content for that: article, video, press release, blog post, and or a page of your website. The more content that you have on the first page for any of these given keywords, the more that essentially knocks everything else down. And this is not by chance. You control what's being said about you online. You're stacking the social proof in your favor. Your practice name reviews. I just touched on this. Your practice name reviews. So-and-so chiropractic reviews. You got to have something, whether it's a blog post, a video, and or your website ranking extremely high for this keyword. Your practice name complaints. This is one that, again, is very, very hidden. Very few doctors even think about this. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So even if you've got a tremendous amount of reviews online for your Google Maps listing or even Yelp, people are so skeptical these days. They want to try to find any flaws. And sometimes if you Google your practice name complaints, you might find something on Ripoff Report or one of these other websites that can really harm your reputation. So there's a very strategic way for you to, let's say, create a video or an article or press release or just a regular website title using this. So for example, let's say you're going to create a video. And the video might be you talking about specific FDA complaints, meaning that maybe there was a supplement or a particular type of medication that was banned and or it was first approved by the FDA and then they took it off the market. Well, you could easily create a video titled Your Practice Name Reviews FDA Complaints on Vioxx. And the bottom line here is we have your name or your practice name in that title with the word complaints, but we're actually giving great valuable information. We're functioning as an asset to our community, in a sense. So if somebody's going to definitely click that video or click that website because they're going to think, oh yeah, I got you, doc. You're not that, it's too good to be true. I knew it. Gotcha. But when they click that, they're going to see that, hey, you're still a resource providing tremendous value to the community, and it just really makes you, establishes more social proof and goodwill in the community. Your practice name, scam. The same exact example you can apply to the word scam is the one that I gave you before. So create a video, article, or press release, and or somewhere on your website, have it, Dr. John Smith reviews the newest health scam, yada, yada, yada. But the bottom line is your name and scam are in the same title, and we want this to rank really, really high, just in case people search on Google, and if they do, you can be sure they're going to click that listing, but what they're going to find is not what they think they're going to find. They're going to find great information that's going to help empower them, which just moves them closer and closer and closer to doing business with you. Now, let's actually get into the 9 most influential SEO factors for this year and beyond. Page load speed. This is a biggie. A lot of doctors, they don't have any idea about their page load speed. Now, if you have a very, very slow page load time or website load time, you can be rest assured Google is actually dropping your practice website in the ranking. So this is something that you'll want to talk to your chiropractic website host and just check what your page load speed is. Do it for yourself from multiple browsers like Safari, Firefox, Chrome, Explorer. Check it on all of the above, and if it's taken more than, I would say, 2 seconds to load, you need to really work on that and get it down. We want fast load speeds. So make sure you talk to your webmaster, you scout that out, because that's definitely a ranking factor that so many chiropractors overlook. The next ranking factor is author rank. If you've been familiar with my content over the years, you know I've been talking about author rank for several years. This is a big deal because the more content you publish strategically online, the more value it adds to not just your community, but it builds your credibility as an author. Google looks very, very closely at that, and they look closely when you share a piece of content. If some author that has a high ranking or more credibility shares your content, that content is going to rank higher. So naturally, we should strive for a high author rank. My whole program, Social Media Elite, basically addresses this. So if you're not a Social Media Elite member, you really need to think about that and look into the training course. And if you are, you definitely need to apply it, because all that content marketing in there with articles, videos, press releases, that all factors into your author rank. SEO is typically not a magic bullet thing. It's not a one boom, a magic pill like we would love to believe. It takes a multitude of things, and if you do these multitude of things regularly over time, you have no choice but to dominate the competition and rank high. But it really, really takes strategy for sure. So author rank is a big deal. It's been a big deal the last few years, but more specifically today and into the coming year. Mobile friendliness of your website. So how fast does your website load on mobile, and is it very readable? If your text is too small, if it doesn't look great, if the formatting is off on a cell phone, you can be rest assured that's going to affect your Google ranking. So this is another thing that you would go ahead and consult your current webmaster about, the mobile friendliness of your site. Get this thing taken care of. It's really, really important. Bounce rate. There's a lot of confusion on bounce rate, so I want to kind of clear that up right now. The bounce rate basically is when a prospective new patient goes to your chiropractic website and they go there, how long are they staying before they're bouncing off? Now, in some cases, this can be a good thing, but in many cases, it can be bad. So let's go ahead and, if you've got a lot of great content on your chiropractic website and people are staying there for 2, 3, 5, 10 minutes, that is fantastic. That's going to mean your bounce rate is relatively low, probably under 50%. Now, if it's over that, then we have some questioning to do, unless you're doing a lot of pay-per-click advertising. For me and my businesses, we run a tremendous amount of Facebook advertising. So naturally, when you run Facebook advertising to certain pages on your site, the bounce rate is going to be 80 to 90% in some cases. It just really depends on the landing page, because really the only option that they have is to give us their name and email or bounce off the page, basically. And of course, on good landing pages, we can get 30% and above on Facebook. So there's a time and place to really understand and assess the bounce rate. But for most chiropractors that aren't using any Facebook advertising, we really, really need to be careful here, because if your site, if people are bouncing off in the first 30 seconds, there's a problem with your site, your content, your layout, you're not holding their attention. Maybe you don't have the credibility and positioning that I've spoke about in the past. So we have to zone in and really understand the importance of bounce rate. Social shares. Social shares do affect your ranking on Google. And in 2015-16, you can be rest assured it's going to go and multiply, and it's going to really impact, or I should say have more of an impact. This means that if people share your website, your content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all these social platforms, if your content is getting shared regularly, then you're going to have more credibility and you're going to rank higher on social media. Google looks at all of this stuff. Google looks at the number of tweets, retweets with your website URL in it. It also looks at Facebook, your fan page, and assesses all that information as well. So this is really, really key to increasing your ranking on Google. Social shares, and you have to build your own platform. You got to know how to get a tremendous amount of traffic to your chiropractic website to get people to know about it and share your content. Links. Links are still king online. I don't care what anyone says. This is something that you have to understand too. But the way that we do links is a little bit differently now than we did 2, 3, 5 years ago. You see, for the 20-something years, links were built in a certain way online, and then Google had a few updates. Maybe you remember them. Penguin, Panda, that totally just crushed everything. Even if you were doing linking legitimately and by Google's rules at the time, or I should say, not doing anything spammy, people still got dinged. And this is something where you need to make sure that your links are diversified. We want to get links from many different online properties, article websites, press release websites, video websites, your blog, other different blogs around the internet, high ranking authority properties. This helps your case and really helps you rank higher on Google. Now, when you link your site, or when other people link your site, in my personal opinion from what I've seen, over 90% of those links need to be general looking. So if the average prospective patient in your community saw one of your blog posts and decide to link it up and share their friends, what would they say? They would probably say, hey, check out this link about 3 tips to help your child's scoliosis by, my chiropractor here. Here's the website, www.yoursite.com. That's a regular looking link. Or http://yoursite.com. Or, hey, click here to check out his site. And click here, they've got that hyperlinked, and it goes to your website. Those are very general links, as opposed to what were called anchor text links. Anchor text links mean that you basically have the keyword in your link. So if you write a blog post on your chiropractic blog, and maybe you're talking about chiropractic in the San Diego area, and one of those, like in your actual blog post, you have the words chiropractic San Diego next to each other, you highlight that and you put a link to your regular website using those words, that's an anchor text link. We can still get those, but it should be below 10% of our overall links going to our profile. If it's too much, Google thinks you're trying to game the system, and they frown upon that, and they can definitely penalize you. So be strategic, mix it up when you're building links. Website metadata. This is huge. This is otherwise known as on-page search engine optimization. This is the metadata on your homepage of your website, your blog pages, the meta title, the meta description, and the meta tag. If you want to rank for a certain keyword, they need to be in the meta title, the meta tag, and the description. Now, you don't just stuff all the keywords on your homepage. You should have different pages of your website for different conditions and or things that you're treating or keywords you want to rank for. So we have to be very strategic about this, and your webmaster would handle that, if you need it. A working sitemap. A lot of chiropractic websites don't have a working sitemap. This just makes it very, very easy for Google to crawl your website so they can index all of your pages. If you don't have a working sitemap, it's very difficult for Google to see what's going on. They can still do it, but it helps. It actually drops your ranking if you don't have a working sitemap. Make sure you write that down. You need to have a sitemap so Google can index and crawl your site very easily so you can rank higher on the search engine. I alluded to this earlier, but you need to have dynamic, unique, and diverse content if you want to rank #1 in the search today. Diverse coming from different website properties. That's why for the longest time I've promoted creating articles, videos, press releases, blog posts, different pages on your website, doing guest blogging, all these things that allow you to get your name, your brand, your practice into different channels and outlets to create links from those outlets going back to your site. And you're mixing it up. You're putting it into different forms, right? So we have to have dynamic, unique, and diverse content. Google likes to see that. If you have a current chiropractic website with another company, I would strongly recommend that you rewrite many of those pages if you're a good writer, because there's going to be a lot of duplicate content on those particular pages, and sometimes that can penalize you in the search, which is what we don't want. There's a great website online called Copyscape, 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 where you can go there, you can type in your website address, and it will tell you what other websites have the same and or duplicate content. You'd be wise to do that immediately and really get an idea so you know what to vary up on your site. Let's talk about competitive intelligence for a little bit. You know, this is something where there's power in being able to reverse engineer your competitors and people that rank high on Google. There's a tool that I've been using for years and years called Market Samurai. This tool is one you should have at your disposal. It allows you to really peel back the skeleton of another website, see how many links they have, where these links are coming from, how long this domain has been online. All these authority factors and triggers you can basically get to see. And Market Samurai also does keyword research in your local area. So it's a very, very valuable tool for numerous different reasons. They have a free trial that you can access at marketsamurai.com/c/free trial now. So write that down, marketsamurai.com/c/free trial now. Get a free trial of it, and I promise you it will blow your mind. But if you can reverse engineer your competition, you stand a much greater chance of getting ahead of them. I hope that makes sense. Now let's talk about mistakes to avoid when you're trying to rank higher on Google. The first mistake is black hat marketing tactics. Now, some of you might not even know what black hat is, and that is fantastic if you don't. But if you do, then you probably may have experienced that somewhere along the line. Black hat simply means you're trying to manipulate Google's search ranking or algorithm. And when you try to manipulate it with a short-term strategy, you can be certain it's going to backfire. Whether that's tomorrow, in a year from now, who knows when, but it will definitely backfire. Black hat basically tries to take advantage of the loopholes in the search. Now listen, I'm all about being opportunistic because truthfully, I don't believe Google is our friend. Google looks out for its own best interest, not yours and mine. But if you use black hat consistently, what you're going to find is that you will rank lower. So I know it might seem tempting in the short term, but be very, very careful with who you go with and what strategies and tactics they're using. Mistake to avoid number 2, too good to be true SEO services. We've all heard these lofty guarantees with SEO services. Listen, I mean, go with your gut. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. I'm not saying not to go with an SEO service, but use some common sense here. I know that, listen, we want 30 new patients yesterday. Obviously, that's all chiropractors care about in terms of online marketing. We want the new patients in our office from the internet now. Unfortunately, there's a ramp-up time for that to get in place. One, if you don't have any presence online, you've got to build a presence. You can't expect to compete with somebody that's been on the internet for 3 years when you've only been you've been there for 30 days. It just doesn't make sense. So yes, there is a ramp-up time, and you've got to get visibility. You've got to get rankings. You have to get content out there. Get into all these little nooks and crannies and channels before you're able to be seen and have this massive visibility. So yes, certain companies can help with that, but again, be selective and don't fall for these too good to be true SEO services. Inconsistency is the kiss of death. When you start marketing, just like when a patient comes into your office, they need to keep coming just like they would go to a dentist. Now, of course, chiropractors typically have a maintenance care basis, whether that is once a week, once a month, once every 6 months, but there is some maintenance. SEO and content marketing is kind of the same way. You need to be consistent. We're not talking about every single day, but we are talking about, listen, if you should be posting on social media every single day, maybe you commit to writing a blog post once per week, or to do just something a little bit every day. I mean, talking maybe 5 minutes, build a link here and there, build a citation, do a guest blog post, just something very, very little. We can always outsource this. In Social Media Elite, I share with you many different resources and ways to do that. most cost effectively and efficiently. But little by little, step by step, wins the race, and eventually that snowball can turn into an avalanche. Mistake to avoid number 4 is not getting started. It's 2015. We're entering 2016 in a couple months. I mean, the last thing that you want to appear is outdated and out of touch to your patients or prospective patients. You have to meet them where they are. People search Google every single day. This is not just for young kids anymore. This is where the people are. So you have to definitely make sure you're capitalizing on it. And I totally understand the resistance to change by some doctors. Some are very comfortable where they are, but it's not going to cut it anymore. And in the next year, 2 years, your practice might just go out of business because you're not evolving with the times. That's the sad reality that I've seen in the past. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying consumer habits have shifted and you need to be playing the game. Mistake number 5, going at it without professional guidance. Listen, you can do this stuff without professional guidance, but how long is it going to take you to figure out how to rank a certain way, to rank your content on Google a certain way, or to figure out the perfect Facebook ad that can generate 50 people at one of your events, or to use Pinterest to rank number 1 on Google? Listen, you can figure all this stuff out on your own, or even SEO, but it'll take you 6 months, a year, 2 years, depends on how much time you devote to it, and it will cost you tens of thousands of dollars in trial and error. That's just how it works. When you find a mentor that's already been there and done that, that's the shortest path from point A to point B. All professionals, all the top level players, A players are going and they're finding people that have already been there and done that. So don't try to reinvent the wheel. Go where it's already been perfected and just model what's working. I mean, it's simple enough. So hopefully you found a lot of value out of this training today. It will transform your life as you start to apply these concepts. Usually on my webinars, I find there are 3 types of chiropractors here. Number 1, you've seen the content, you found it valuable, but unfortunately you're just not going to do anything with it. Be honest with yourself, right? And I sincerely hope that's no one on today's webinar, because we can't afford to be left behind anymore. The web is changing, Google is changing, and we have to stay updated with the times, or else we risk our chiropractic website getting, sinking like a rock, basically. So we want to be on the forefront. We need to evolve as patients evolve. Now, the second type of chiropractor you might already be, maybe you're doing some of this stuff online, whether it's search engine optimization or social media, and you're getting a couple patients here and there, nothing really to brag about, but you really know that social media or this search engine optimization stuff, it's not a fad, and you want to learn from somebody that's been there and done that. The third type of doctor you might be on this training right now is maybe you're already getting an extra 10 to 20 new patients per month from social media, from Google and SEO, but you know you're capable of so much more. Now, regardless of where you fall on that spectrum, I'd like to introduce you for my flagship training, Social Media Elite. Now, this training is a home study course that's instantly downloadable. It's over 55 videos in total. It was created by a chiropractor, myself, that's worked with over 7,000 chiropractors, and it works for any type of practice. So if you have a straight chiropractic practice, if you're more wellness-based, if you do personal injury, workman's comp, if you do functional medicine, this stuff works for any type of chiropractic practice, because I've dealt with so many practitioners throughout the years. The Social Media Elite training has a 6-month money-back guarantee, because I know once you start to implement these strategies, not just the SEO strategies and the content marketing, but all the other social media, then you're going to find this will add a tremendous amount of value. I mean, listen, on this webinar today, we only got to talk about one specific strategy, and in terms of the internet, there are a couple dozen that you need successfully working 24/7. Our goal in this system, Social Media Elite, my goal has always been to create systems that consistently feed the practice so you can work smarter, not harder. Yes, there's going to be legwork with some of these systems, but the great thing is, once you stick it online, it's going to consistently generate you more traffic to your site and referrals for years and years to come. It's not like a postcard drop that you'll send out one time and realize the benefit of that postcard for, one date or, for the only time it drops. This isn't like that. So it's about creating systems. That's why we have such a big money back guarantee. I very rarely does somebody return the program, and if they do, it's because they've usually never applied anything. So I just wanted to share with you what some of our clients had to say about this Social Media Elite training and the work that we were able to help them with. 7 new patients in the last 5 days, all but one from Google searches, and that was a direct referral from an MD. Thanks, Matthew Loop, and this is from a Dr. Sean Mateo. Another client, Dr. Christopher Loria, says, thanks, Russell Brockstein, for recommending Matthew Loop and his program. I jumped in, did everything very quickly, and do what Matt says every week. In the last 4 weeks, I've gotten 21 calls from people that have seen my posts, videos, or websites. Before that, I got 0. Mondays are crazy with calls, I guess because people are searching on the weekends. Think about that, 21 calls. Even if you only converted, I don't know, 50% of those, 10 and a half, based on the average case value per chiropractor, that could be an extra $10,000 to $20,000 per month in revenue for the average chiropractor. So really, one patient pays for this entire system over and over and over again. So depending on what your average case value is, that's something powerful. Dr. Aaron Wall writes, thanks for another great call. You're a really great servant. Anyone that wants to grow their online presence should be using your program. It has been the most valuable program I have ever purchased. Very, very kind words from Dr. Aaron Wall. Dr. Jeff Roystershire writes, it amazes me how so many chiropractors are afraid to learn something that is so easy and effective. When I opened my first office in the late 90s, I used newspaper ads, yellow pages, telemarketing. It was expensive and mixed results, to say the least. I just opened a new office 2 years ago using Social Media Elite, and I'm averaging 30 to 40 new patients every month from social media. It's truly a no-brainer. Very, very awesome testimonial. Now look, I can't guarantee you 30 to 40 new patients per month, obviously, but I'll tell you that's what some of the best clients of mine are doing. So that gives you an idea of the potential. Even if you only add an extra 5, 10, or 15 new patients a month on top of all the other marketing that you're currently doing, it will dramatically change your life. Dr. Ricardo Lalama writes, Social Media Elite is a great course. I've been studying it and applying what Matthew teaches in the course for the past 2.5 months, and now my site is on page 1 in Google. Google Plus and Google Place is done. YouTube videos are next, then Facebook marketing. That's awesome. Sometimes ranking really occurs quickly. Other times it takes a little bit longer, a few months. Every chiropractic practice is different, but success is predictable if certain things are done in a certain way. Dr. Russell Brockstein writes, I keep getting asked by many colleagues how I dominate the internet in my area. So many are paying services hundreds of dollars per month and not getting the results. 3 years ago, I invested in a social media kit that goes step by step, that shows you what to do, all by not only a chiropractor in the trenches, but a marketing guru. It's very kind of you, even though I don't consider myself a guru, but very kind. You can check out his program here. Dr. Matthew Loop knows his material and still 3 years later answers all my questions. His system can help you take your practice to a new level next year and help many more patients be healthy without drugs or surgery. And that's something I like to pride myself in terms of customer support. I answer questions all the time via email from previous members, and I'm very happy to do that to help them consistently grow. Now, Dr. Anthony Galzerano writes, Matt Loop stands alone, head and shoulders above anyone else whom I've ever had commercial dealings with. He answers emails more quickly, is more generous with his knowledge, updates his materials at no charge, although I must have bought his program at least 5 years ago. I hope it has been as much a pleasure to work with him as it is to be a client. Very kind words by Tony Galzerano. So here's what you get in Social Media Elite. Number 1, you get Facebook organic referral marketing strategies. This entire section, this module of the course is very powerful because you learn how to harness Facebook the right way. There's numerous tutorials in this training that show you not just how to get more fans to your fan page, but how to get more mass visibility and how to get those to take action, to pick up the phone and call. Many of these strategies, they don't cost you any money, so you don't have to spend any extra funds on advertising. Really powerful stuff. So I want to share with you all my Facebook stuff. Facebook advertising with sample ads to swipe. Listen, Facebook ads, in my personal opinion, at this stage of the game, are the holy grail of online marketing if you do them right. We've spent over $500,000 personally on Facebook ads. I've managed over $1 million of clients' ads, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, this is the most powerful platform that I've ever seen if you harness it right. Using Facebook ads to drive traffic to your chiropractic workshops is working insane right now if it's done right. There's obviously a right and a wrong way to do it, and or to drive traffic to free reports, free video training series, and quizzes and such. Google Plus local marketing, also known as Google Places, Google Maps. It seems like it changes its name every other week, but you're going to learn specific strategies in Social Media Elite. You'll have the scripts, the protocols that will make you more effective on Google Maps so you can get the most reviews of anyone else in the community, so you can have the most social proof. Whoever has the most social proof is going to reap the lion's share of new patients searching in locally. YouTube video marketing secrets. YouTube, if I had to really isolate one powerful social medium that's been responsible for me, quote, becoming famous in a couple different marketplaces, it's been video. My first videos just sucked. They were terrible online, but I consistently worked at it. I got good. And even those crappy videos started to build liking, trust, and rapport with other people in my community as well as other chiropractors. And I mean, I still have chiropractors that come up to me at seminars and events. Hey man, I saw your video in 2005, 2006. You really inspired me and I've been following you ever since. That blows my mind. And many of these, they become clients. So YouTube is a very, very powerful medium to attract more patients, to get your word out. The great thing is YouTube videos, they don't cost you anything. So you got to be using that this year and beyond. And in Social Media Elite, I show you the best ways to harness video. Search engine optimization, I'll teach you, basically how to apply a lot of these strategies in the content marketing scheme of things. Because in reality, the best way to rank high on Google is through content marketing. And that's really what Social Media Elite is about. Videos, articles, press releases, blog posts, all these things together create authority. That authority creates high rankings on Google. It works every time. It's not spammy. It's not black hat. It's just how Google likes to see your content made. Instagram. Did you know that you can use Instagram to pull patients in your office? It's absolutely amazing. Instagram right now has surpassed the 300 million member mark, and it's showing no signs of slowing down. Instagram is owned by Facebook, so in the short term, probably in the next 6 months, they're going to open up their advertising platform to the average small business owner. And I'll tell you from firsthand experience, early adopters always make the most gains, always create the most profits, always get the most visibility, exposure. You know the rest. There's a specific way to harness Instagram to get more traffic to your chiropractic website, and I show you how to do that in the course. Pinterest marketing for your practice. Pinterest is perfect for the chiropractic demographic. The average age of Pinterest is females between 25 and 55. That is awesome because we know that those are the same demographics and people that use our chiropractic services most often. Pinterest is great for many different avenues, but one of those, you can use Pinterest pin boards to rank high on Google to piggyback off the credibility, just like you can with YouTube, like I show you in the course, and other strategies. But you can also use Pinterest itself, this own network, to generate mass exposure if you create pins in a certain way. Blog marketing. Blogging is very powerful. Creating a blog, getting well known in the marketplace, learning how to rank it #1 on Google, to get more traffic to that. I show you exactly what to do to be most effective. Twitter for doctors. Twitter is still charging full steam. I love this live search, this microblogging network. It's just real-time conversation, and if harnessed correctly, you can find out people that are talking about scoliosis right now, or talking about headaches right now, literally a couple seconds ago, in your local community. It's just insane. I've had doctors get patients, schedule patients, I should say, in a matter of minutes using Twitter. So I'll show you how to do that. Outsourcing and leveraging. Listen, I'm not trying to create another job for you as a chiropractor. You're a chiropractor. You need to be in the rooms adjusting, working on the business most effectively, and sometimes in the business, obviously. But we want to make sure that you've got this entrepreneurial aspect, this outsourcing and leveraging going. So certain tasks can be outsourced and delegated, whether it's in office or through other mediums, and I show you how to do that. A quick start manual. Now, this quick start manual, as soon as you read it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of great information in here, but I don't want it to overwhelm you because those are all the strategies that will eventually be implementing for your chiropractic practice. The first thing to do is we'll take one strategy, we're going to start one by one, and once we take one strategy, get that implemented, the system's in place, then we can stack and layer another strategy onto the next until that snowball becomes an avalanche. Now, if you liked trainings like this, like if you've been on my webinars before, and if you like the way that I teach, you will like the way that I teach you in Social Media Elite too, because it's very practical, and it's the strategies that will produce results, referrals, traffic, patients, as opposed to all the other stuff that's just a time suck that we exclude from the course. Google Plus trainings, you learn how to harness Google Plus accordingly, and much more. Listen, anytime that there's a new strategy that's going to produce results for your practice, whether it's on any of these social platforms or other ones, we'll add it to the training course. Some strategies have been the same for years. Others have changed, and when they change, we update. Now, what Social Media Elite will do for you, one is it'll give you strategy instead of haphazard marketing. Listen, no one ever got rich off of using haphazard marketing, and that's the bottom line. If you really want to reach and serve more patients in the community, you have to have a plan. You have to have a strategy. Most chiropractors just don't have a strategy, so they have this stop-and-go style of outreach and marketing that just never fully produces for them consistently. So you're going to learn strategy. You'll learn traffic. You're going to get traffic. I mean, if depending on what you're getting right now, using Social Media Elite, you're going to easily be able to double and triple your current traffic numbers just based on the strategies alone. Some of you may even quadruple what you're already doing. It really depends what type of markets you're in and how far along in the process you are. But traffic is usually not the most difficult part. For many chiropractors, it can be, but it's easy when you follow this guide. Top Google rankings, obviously. This training, Social Media Elite, is geared to give you top Google rankings and to help you to really pull back the curtain to show you and demystify Google, so you don't have to necessarily think about, oh my gosh, something's going to change tomorrow, or I got to keep in touch with this newest strategy, or I have to manipulate the algorithm this way. It's not that complex. I just want to make very, very clear. It's not that complex. Simple things consistently over the long term is what gets results, and that's what we show you. Public relations, I mean, you learn how to become an unstoppable public relations machine for your office. And, you create this avalanche, this faucet that you couldn't turn off even if you wanted to. More new patients. Ultimately, this all leads to more patients through your door. I would say my average client gets between 12 and 15 new patients extra per month on top of all the other marketing that they're doing. As I mentioned before, my top clients get 30 to 40 new patients per month. I can't guarantee those numbers, but I can definitely guarantee you a massive improvement of what you're going to be experiencing. It's all in the strategy. Sometimes it's just the minor tweaks in the marketing that can make the biggest gains. Finally, you're going to learn a set of skills that will create income for life. This is not a one-and-done strategy. As mentioned previously, this is a set of skills that you can apply to this business, to any business, that are going to create traffic and ultimately patients walking through the door for years and years to come. Now, I know some of you are making excuses. I don't have the time to do social media. If only I had more time. Here's the reality, and I'm just going to call BS right now. Most doctors have the time. All we want to do is turn that time that you're currently on the computer into productive time to market the office. Most chiropractors that I speak with are on the computer at least 30 to 45 minutes every single day. So we're just going to turn that time into productive time. Be strategic, which you don't have to waste the time. You're just going to be strategic on certain tactics and strategies to implement. And if you, quote, still find you don't have the time, then you need to cut out a half an hour of Lost or Game of Thrones or whatever your favorite crack cocaine TV show is and really reprioritize. If you're truly interested in serving more patients in your community, there's plenty of opportunity this year and beyond for you to do that. It's just, how bad do you want to serve more patients? How bad do you want to have the practice of your dreams or increase your income or spend more time with your family? Every doctor's wants and needs are a little bit different, but you have to reprioritize accordingly. Excuse number 2, I'm not a computer geek. Here's the great thing. Social Media Elite, I basically take everything, all the techie garbage that you don't need, and I make everything practical. I try to put it in layman's terms. Listen, social media can be a new language of learning, but I can guarantee you it's not like biochemistry in school that we've all had. So it's much, much easier, much easier. So let's put this in perspective. Yes, new learning for sure, but it's really not that complex. The more you immerse yourself in social media, even if it's just 30 minutes every single day, that snowball is going to turn into an avalanche, and you're going to get very comfortable, and you will start to see results and referrals from it. You also get professional guidance and mentorship. We spoke about this before. I've already encountered every single obstacle that you will face building your practice using social media. I've been everywhere on the spectrum. There have been times where I haven't produced any patients. Sometimes I've been getting a little, and other times we were just crushing it with 20 new patients a month or more from social, but realizing we could do much better. I've encountered every single obstacle you're going to face because my finger is on the pulse of this stuff. Plus, we've worked with over 7,000 chiropractors as clients, so I can definitely help you as opposed to going at it alone and getting stuck on something for a day, a week, a month. you'd be surprised how many times I speak at chiropractic seminars around the country, and I speak to the same doctor. I'll see them a year later, and they haven't really progressed that much farther from where they were a year ago because they got stuck on something, they couldn't figure it out, and they just didn't think to get in touch with me so I could actually help guide them through. Listen, I want to help you be most effective so you don't waste time, so you can actually create more abundance and prosperity in your practice and in your life. And social media is my flagship training really on how to do that. Private coaching, I know some doctors ask me about private coaching. Currently, there is a waiting list. It's not cheap because it's my personal time over 12 weeks, so it's not even an option at this stage. If you feel, if you're totally honest with yourself and you need a kick in the butt and you know that you're probably not going to implement this information or any stuff that you've seen on my webinars, you can definitely check out my coaching page and submit an application. The average wait time is 3 months. Sometimes we have spots that open up earlier, but we can't guarantee that, obviously. So just be totally honest with yourself, and you can look on my website, just Google Matthew Loop Coaching, and you'll find it. Investment. Now, Social Media Elite normally retails for $597. It sells at that price every single day, but you're not going to pay that today on this webinar. So for this particular training and webinar, you've got a limited time opportunity to save 37% on that initial investment. And when you do that, you're also going to get $3,288 in free fast action bonuses for this webinar only. Now, the first one is a private phone consultation where I personally will get on the phone with you and help fast track your results with social media. I'm not going to refer you to a staff member like a lot of other companies do. I don't like that. I want to be personally involved in your success. That's valued at $500. I realize your practice is probably different from the chiropractor down the street, and I want to figure out which high leverage area it's best for you to start. The second bonus is access to our exclusive members only Facebook group. I attached a price tag of $9.97 value to this, but in reality, this group is priceless. There are hundreds of members in this group, and we're consistently exchanging ideas, brainstorming. Members are helping members be more effective. It's like an entire support group for those doctors that are interested in growing their practices fast using social media. Many times I answer the questions, sometimes other members answer the questions, but I can tell you this group alone is worth 10 times the value of the course because just for the asset that it is. So once you go ahead and become a member of Social Media Elite today, you'll get access to that Facebook group, and that's going to blow you away. You'll also get the 365 chiropractic graphics package. That's $197 value that sells every day for that price. Those are 365 graphics that are related to chiropractic, lifestyle, nutrition, that if you ever run out of an idea to post on Facebook or other social media, you can use these graphics in conjunction, and it will help create engagement and goodwill in your community. It takes the hard work out of something good to post on Facebook. You'll also get access to the 3-day new patient machine, which is a $97 value. This sequence will help you create a surge of new patients in your office from the internet. If you've got a list of prospective new patients, you can use this email script with them. If you have a list of patients that are inactive, you can send this script, just modify and tweak it to reactivate patients. Very, very powerful script. You definitely want to have your hands on that, but that comes free with Social Media Elite today. And you also get unlimited email support, which is a $500 value. So if you ever have any questions at any time, I've encountered any obstacle you are going to face. So just shoot me over a quick email. If I'm usually pretty fast on my response time given how much traveling and speaking I do around the country. Nonetheless, I'm here to support you, so I want to make sure you consistently move forward. That's why you have email support. And like you heard from the previous testimonials, 3-5 years later, I still answer your emails, right? Free course updates for life. And this is, I just gave this a $997 value, but it's worth far more than that. So listen, social media, some things stay the same. Sometimes things update. And when those things update, we create new trainings in the course to better serve you. So you do get access and free updates for this training for life, which is another great added fast action bonus. Here's what to do next. If you like the idea of attracting an extra 20 to 30 new patients per month from the internet without spending any money on advertising, and if you want to double your practice in the next 6 months or less, then click the big orange Add to Cart button below. Just click it one time and then complete the details that you see on the following page. What's going to happen is that you'll be directed to a second page of the checkout once you hit that green button that will offer you the option to pay either via PayPal or credit card. You can either use both. Once you take care of your investment, then you're going to receive an email. Check your junk and spam just in case it gets filtered there, but you'll have the download links, access to the group, and all that other good stuff, and instructions for how we set up our initial fast track call. So again, check your junk and spam if you don't get that. Now, if you didn't listen to me and you clicked that button more than one time, you're probably going to see the price double and triple and quadruple and such. Truthfully, I don't know why it does that. It's an error in the script, I guess, on the shopping cart that we use. So all you need to do is you need to clear your cookies and your temporary internet files and refresh that page, and it should refresh the price. But again, this particular value, this 37% discount on the Social Media Elite, is only good for this webinar, so you need to act fast, and you get all the bonuses that I mentioned previously. It comes out to a whopping $377. That doesn't include the over $3,000 in bonuses. But again, one patient that you get from the internet completely pays for this system. Ultimately, I want to help you be as effective as possible using the internet. It's totally changed my life. It's changed thousands of chiropractic practices, and it's just amazing where the future is headed. You've got to be doing this stuff. I'd like to share with you how to do it the right way so you can obviously get your message to the masses, create more influence in your community, bring in more new patients from the internet, and just build a practice and life that you love. So hopefully you found a lot of value out of this training. This is Dr. Matthew Loop. I'm here to serve you in any way possible that I can. Again, if you ever have any questions, make sure we are connected on social media, but I strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you to take advantage of Social Media Elite. I don't hold anything back, and I'm here for you to support you, but again, I want you to be a member because I know this course can dramatically change your life and add a new dimension to your practice, make things more fun, and I'm very excited to hear your success story. So again, continued success. Have a great day, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.